Alright, here we go. Got a 2003 Mercedes. I think it's a CLK230 or something like that. I don't know, it's my daughter's car. Anyway, I'm gonna save y'all a bunch of hassle. We're changing the evaporator coil under the dashboard today. This is the second time we're doing it in 3 weeks because of a little glitch that you don't want to make the same mistake. So we figured this time we'd record the removal of the dashboard. Anyway, there's your expansion valve under the hood right by the firewall. That expansion valve is leaking because the coil is not the right coil. If you do this job, I suggest that you completely seal the system and make sure it's not leaking before you put the dashboard back on, or you will be sorry like we are. So anyway, why is it leaking is the question. Well, there's two different coils that go on this car. We ordered one which happens to be the wrong one. Technically it should work because the expansion valve should fit that one. However, the bracket inside behind the expansion valve there, it holds the lines steady. Not these two lines, but the ones that face the other way. It holds them steady. The problem is the bracket is made for the other coil, so it offsets the things just barely, causing the expansion valve not to be able to go on correctly. I had to sand it down, and when I sanded it, yeah, expansion valve would fit, but after I sanded it, it would no longer seal. So it was just a last-ditch effort to try to make it work. This is the coil right here. I broke this line off right here because I was trying to do some tests with it, but anyway, the expansion valve or the coil sits, you know, I don't know, something like this, whatever. This is on this side over here. There's a bracket that fits right behind that. What's basically happened was I sanded this just to make the expansion valve fit, because this line, it was shifted off just a hair, just enough to where I couldn't get the expansion valve to go on. So anyway, don't make that mistake, or you'll be doing what we're doing today, which is removing the whole dashboard again. Very sad day. So we're going to show you step by step if we can, save you a little bit of trouble. Well, here we go. Yeah, the house is a mess because we're pissed off because we have to change this thing the second time. So we never cleaned up anything yet. That's a good excuse, huh?
Yeah, for sure.
Alright. So here we go. We should know how to do it now.
Yeah, without a video. I need a 10 socket wrench.
A 10 socket. Alright. Here's the deal. Got to take the dashboard out. You will crack stuff. This pulls off. Even though it says it pulls off, that is the way to do it, but it will crack. So
if it's
plan on buying some parts.
About 80 bucks, 50, 80.
This will crack, even though they say it pulls off, and that will crack. So we thought we were doing it wrong because it wouldn't come off, but actually when we pulled it off, it was clear that it was the right way to do it. It just, the plastic becomes brittle. This is still off because we're going to actually buy a new one because it cracked, not because of us necessarily. It just but we'll show you how to get that out of there in a second, just so you know. Okay, removing this is not a good example because this one got broken actually, but the idea is, like on this one here, as you can see, when you go down, it doesn't go all the way down, and when you go up, it doesn't go all the way up. You need to go all the way down so you can get behind there. So how do you do that? Well, there is a little tab, if I can find it. Is that it right there? Right. Wow, it's gonna be tricky.
You can show them right here.
Can I show them there?
Yeah, look. These didn't even have to come out.
Let's see.
So you don't need to show them that. There's tabs on the left.
Your
Here
hand's in the way.
and here.
Yeah, so they can't see anything. Where?
In between that. Oh, you cannot see that.
Yeah, but
But you'll see them. They look like plastic tabs that aren't supposed to move, and they aren't.
the tabs are not that deep in, just so you know. They're right, it literally on this one is right there. You might be able to get a glimpse of it. It's right inside there. It actually has a little pointy thing, kind of points back at you. And what did you have to do? I think you had to pull them.
You have to move them to the side.
Yeah, you just barely move it to the side.
Barely.
Yeah, if you move it too hard, you'll crack it. I don't know if you can
And
see
move.
it.
You move it to the side, and you move
It's
the vent
right
up
in there.
simultaneously.
It's right underneath this one right here. It's right there. You can kind of see it now. You see that little pointy thing sticking out on the top there? Just barely pull it to the left, and then you'll be able to push this vent all the way down. Alright, so once you do that, you'll be able to get behind there, and there's some screws back there. Okay, did this one have any screws?
This one did have screws,
Where at?
and you have to unscrew them while the vent is in here.
Yeah, but
You
where's
can
the screws?
see the screws at the top right and the top left.
Yeah, but how do you get to them?
You
Like
have to
that?
stick your screwdriver.
Yeah, so once you do that, there's screws that you can get to back there. But you see how it goes all the way down? So you'll need to know that. Alright, and you can
And
see this one
just-
doesn't go down.
We don't take these out, remember? The dash comes out altogether. These are the only ones we had to take out.
Oh, I'm pretty sure there was something over there we needed. We'll get to it when we get to it. Alright, let's do it. Alright, first thing is take the center console out. There are bolts down there, 2 bolts. And then we will pull this out. We'll have to, this thing will pop up. We'll show you in a second. There's some bolts down there. Alright.
This is how you use a socket.
She learned how to use a socket after doing this car. So I guess there was a good silver lining in this. Now you know how to use a socket. You know, what is it? What's the rule?
Righty-tighty, lefty-loosey.
So the first thing you need to do is make sure to get some plastic bags, Ziploc bags with a marks a lot. Label everything. The more you label, the more bags, a whole lot easier to be to put it back, because you'll forget quickly. Even when you're working on the same part, sometimes you can't remember where the screws went. You got the key to change the gear.
No battery.
Yes, we do. We did. Oh yeah, I took it out. Alright, you want me to go hook it?
Yeah.
So you put the car in neutral or somewhere middle, then that thing just pulls right up, doesn't it?
I don't remember. Oh, yeah.
Yep. Pulls right up. Got some cables you got to unhook. Try to remember where you put them, because we did not the first time. Alright. First thing down. That just pops up as well without breaking it.
I don't remember how I did
Did this come out first or not?
that. Possibly.
I think that came out. Didn't it come out first? Or that popped up?
No, this pops up.
There you go. So just grab it right there. Pop it up. Boom. 2 steps down. 48,000 to go. Find your spot in the trunk. Lay it all out neatly. That just pulled right out, right?
Yeah, I don't remember how though.
Pull straight out. That's the cup holder. So there's a rubber piece at the bottom. You want to slide that out. That's it. And here's our screws, or what? Or
Nope, it just
that just pulls right
pull
out.
it forward and out.
Alright, done with that.
And then
there's that thing pops up, right?
Yep. And then you have to pop it. I don't want to break
so?
it. I don't know.
That's it. So that thing comes out. You want to put that in the baggie? Under center console?
Yeah. It's over there.
This one? Or the small one?
The small one.
So there are... This thing... There's a screw down there? Didn't we pop this up?
Yeah, it comes out.
Alright, so that... There's tabs right there. Just pull it straight back. Boom. And there's bolts down there. Take the two big bolts. They're like 10s or 12s or whatever.
The sockets over there.
So while she does that, I'm going to take this out. This is the CD player that's in most of them right here. It's just got two plugs on the back of it. I think originally it just pulled out. There may be a screw right there. I think that was the only screw holding it, but we had never put it back in. So that's it. This car has optical wires. So if you decide to change the stereo while you're doing this, you will be very sad when you find out that you can't run a new stereo. So we had to replace all the wires to make it work. The amp in this car is right there. It's behind the back wall of the car. You have to take all this out on the side. You have to take the seat out, the bottom of the seat, all these panels right here, and get that panel off on the side there, and the amp sits right down there. And we basically rewired it and ran new wires under here all the way to the stereo. We basically disconnected the amp and we're not using it anymore. Alright, you got it out? What are you waiting on? We're going to be here an extra 12 hours.
What? I'm on my next step.
Well, let's get it. Let's see how fast you can do it. Let's get this thing done. It took us, what, 3 weeks the first time? Not really, but some of us have to go to work, you know, sometimes. And we can't work on it 24/7. And had to figure out how everything came off without breaking anything. The only thing we actually broke were those panels. Everything else, this was actually broken after the fact, unrelated. So we did a pretty good job. We only had like 3 extra screws. Pretty impressed. All right, what are we doing? Torque. This car uses a lot of torques. Torque sockets or wrenches or whatever you want to call them. Alright, so we're taking out a couple screws there, which hold that middle console in. We changed the stereo. The Mercedes didn't have a lot of space behind the stereo, so even though we tried to push the stereo back as far as we could, it just doesn't go back any further. So either that or get a different stereo.
So that was that.
That came off.
Now, to get these out, I think I have to take out this first.
Yeah, did it pop out?
I don't remember. I think it just pops out.
Oh wait, no, there was something behind here, remember? Wasn't there some kind of screws or something? Oh, there was some kind of tabs, you remember?
The tabs are in.
To hold that in.
Yeah. And
But aren't they behind that or in front of that? Doesn't this come out first with the tabs?
No, because you have to pull the...
Oh, you got to push the tabs in to get them out.
No. Remember, it's those little metal pieces that slide up, and you have to push them down.
Oh, so you got to get that out.
You have to get this out, yeah. And I just...
First.
I see...
Alright. To get this out right here, it just pulls up, but... Right here, it pulls up, but it doesn't exactly pull up. There's little tabs there. Show them the tabs.
These are the tabs.
Yeah, so you just got to barely just kind of pull them forward, just a hair, and then it'll pop up. So, and unplug. Did we unplug that? Yeah.
It's a light.
Oh yeah. So.
I think it just same ordeal.
I don't think that comes out like that. No. Huh? Can you just unplug it?
There we go.
Alright. There. Alright. Come here. So you
put that, because that goes in the ashtray.
Alright, so you see the little tabs right there. They just kind of pop forward a little bit. Right there. Those little tabs right there. You just barely pull them back a hair, and then the thing will pop up. Oh, it's hot out here. It's just about 100 degrees in Texas. We're a bunch of rednecks working on a Mercedes. What is this, my fifth? I think this is my 5th or 6th dashboard removal. I'm really getting tired of these things. How'd I get roped into this crap?
Okay.
What?
I've just unhooked these tabs.
So there's some tabs under there. I don't know if we can get the camera in there.
Yeah, you can see
the metal tab right there?
This
Yeah.
right here.
Yeah, you just got to pull them down.
Pull it down with the...
Yep. Yep. You did both of them?
Yeah.
And then it comes off. Yay!
Well, not exactly.
Oh.
'Cause you have to,
Don't get excited.
you have to unplug
Don't get excited about anything.
So the top ones, they just pull right out.
And we made the mistake of losing a wire in the dashboard. Did you do it?
No.
And we had to, what did you do? Yoga? What did you say you did?
I meditated.
She meditated and somehow reached in and got the wire. It was amazing.
Magically, I just stuck my hand back there.
And it was there. After we had already looked for like an hour. So meditation meditation works.
It works.
Okay.
Alright, you ready? So this tab, you have to push down on the centerpiece and slide the gray over, and then it comes out.
There you go.
Okay. And then that one should just come out. I don't remember.
So, what?
I don't remember.
I think I would just squeezes or something.
Yeah. Just squeeze it and it comes out.
Yep.
Alright.
That's it. So what she's talking about is this thing right here. You just rock it. Or did you pull it up, I think?
You
or you push it down?
You have it, it's up. When it's plugged in, it's up. And there is a tab right here in the center. You have to push it down. This tab.
Oh, you got to push it down so you can
slide it
up. Oh, okay. Yeah.
over.
And it pulls it off. Okay. Yep. That's it. $47,100 left. Taking the radio out now. The glove box was already out because we never put it back in once we realized we had made a mistake, but I'll just show you something. You see this thing right here? Right there. This little thing pushes in and pulls out actually. It's kind of weird because you can't get to it from the other side. It's the same thing on this side. Right there. That little tab pushes in or pulls out, and you can get to it from this side if you take off the side panel, which we're about to do. But that actually holds the dashboard from falling all the way down. So you can reach in, push it in with a screwdriver, then the dashboard will kind of lower. And it just fits in this little groove right here. Fits right in there on this little thing. And inside of here, right there, you just rock it up in there, and then it's pretty self-explanatory, that part. I'll be taking out a Mercedes radio, but this is a regular radio, so a different aftermarket. So it'll be a little bit different for yours.
This is for us.
This is for our purposes, so we don't forget. This purple goes to that black. And was there any other wires?
And this one.
Yeah, that one, and then there's another one right there too.
Where?
What is that right there?
This one?
Is that connected?
Oh, but this is the mic. This is just
This is the
unplugs.
Okay, so unplug that.
And
So we got 3 that have to unplug other than the main plugs, right?
Yes.
1, 2, 3. Okay, so we got to figure out where that was at. All right, here we go. We got to take the speedometer out, And we will do that with this hanger. If you want to know how to do it from another guy's video, he just says, oh, stick it in there and put it in there, and it comes right out. Yeah, we did that. It didn't work. So we're going to try to make it more explanatory. Is that a word?
We're going to try to explain it better.
Oh. So, as you can see, there's a hole there, and there's a hole on the other side. All you have to do is, you got that?
Mm-hmm.
Is literally stick it in there. You see how it's got a little bevel on it? Just stick it straight in there. Keep it sideways just like it is, and just keep pushing. And don't do anything else except pull it out. Whoop. Hold on. You already had it out. Huh?
Yeah.
So, I will show you how it works after I get it out, but if I ever get it out. Wait a minute. Should we do the other side first? I forgot.
Do both sides before you try to pull it out.
Yeah, but I need to.
But you already got it, yeah.
No. Did I?
I think so.
Did I get it? Can't remember. Oh, wait. Oh. I missed it.
You can see it, huh?
Stick it on the other side. Let me see. Yeah. Stick it in there. Just push it straight in. And once you feel resistance, just pull it. There you go.
Yep.
Alright. Is that out? No, it's not.
Hold it! You just push it back in.
Oh, you know it happens. Would you look at that?
Would you look at
Would you
that?
look at that?
We are professionals.
So you just literally push it straight in.
Yep. Resistance.
You'll feel some resistance. It's basically separating like this little. It basically like expands this little thing in there, and when you do that, you just basically pull back on at the same time. There you go. You got it.
Hold on, this side's in now.
And I'll show you once we get it out what it looks like. You gotta go. The angle is kind of upward like that.
Okay, I've got it stuck in there somehow. Okay.
Did you put it in backwards?
Does it go this way?
It doesn't really matter because technically you could do it without even bending it, but by bending it gives you a little more surface area to go inside the little slot. You're too angled too high. There you go, like that. You passing it up. You're going that far. There you go.
Okay.
Alright, got it out. Look at that. We'll show you how it works in a second. Alright, so it's out. So what you're really doing when you stick it in that hole there is all you're doing is going in that little slot right there. And as you go back, you can see all you're doing is expanding. Look at that. See how it pushes that little thing down? That's all you're doing. You just go in between there, and it basically, all it does is just kind of lever this thing up a little bit and the other thing down, and that's it. And when it levers it up, the thing comes out. So you just push it in there,
And there's a plug. Okay.
and there's a plug on the back, which I'm pretty sure you knew. Everything's got a plug. Step. You need little small torques like that because it has to be short.
So T25.
T25, because you have to get up under the. Is it under the steering wheel there?
It's behind the steering wheel.
Okay, behind the steering wheel. Forgot. Yeah, you got two holes right there. You see the one? There's one on the other side. If you try to use a regular Torx, you won't be able to really fit it in there. So that's to take the. Do we really have to take that off?
No. Do we?
We didn't need to in the end, right? Last time, right?
Right.
So we're not going to do that, right?
Right.
We took the airbag off last time because we thought we needed to take something off inside the steering wheel, but actually we don't believe we need to this time, so we're not going to do that. Skip step. Alright, so we're on the passenger side. She's working on the driver. This has to come out. It's underneath the dashboard there. It's just a panel with a couple screws. we'll have to take the blower motor out. Technically, you might be able to leave the blower in, but it's just easier to take it out and not deal with it. It's under there. You probably can't see crap because I don't have a light. There we go. Right there. There's the panel. And the blower motor is right under there. So, a couple torque screws, I think, and we'll see what we got. Alright, that's the cover. Just came out. It only has like 2 screws, and then it just kind of pulls down and out. There's not 2 screws on the back side. Well, there may have been, you know, we might have forgot to put. No, there wasn't actually. Yeah, because this is the back on the top here. Yep. Alright. If this job takes too long, we might start singing a little, so. And I will always love you. Yep, that's why I don't sing for a living. The blower motor has a couple of torques under there we'll get to.
Well, let's get to the...
So that console just picks up in the back there, pulls back, and that's it. There's some wires attached. You didn't attach them or what? Why is it?
I guess I had to wait.
Where were they at? Underneath?
Oh, they attach it way up here.
Where?
So, let's see. There's the cigarette lighter.
Oh yeah, there's a cigarette lighter. Forgot what those were. Yeah, who knows? Anyway, it's pretty self-explanatory. She's calling in the professional. Let me get over here. What do you need? What are you having trouble with?
I can't get the cigarette lighter plug out of here.
Yep.
So I got the door open. You want to get the light?
What's the problem?
Okay, look. Got the door open, but this is a fat plug that plugs into the side, and I can't pull it out.
Hold the light. Camera. Action.
I can't see anything.
Me neither. So that's why I got my hand on there. Let's see. If I remember right. There was something in the way you move. Was there something on the back side of here that...
I already took off the door.
No, on the... Something we squeezed or something? Oh, I see. No? I think there's like a little... Alright, well, I guess we'll show them after. Pause it. Because you just be wasting film. Oh, it just came right out. Yeah, it just comes right out.
Okay.
Just pulls right out the side there. Sticks in, pulls out. I don't really even know where I gotta open the door. I guess it somehow
Releases.
locks it or something. I don't know. Alright, got the blower out. What?
There's 2 more wires.
We got 4 screws on the blower on the bottom and then a plug. And what do you need?
There's 2 wires that come from the back of the console all the way to the front.
Yeah.
And you have to unplug them. Don't forget.
Sure you get Ziploc bags and a Marshall lock, or you will be sorry. All right, you got it?
Uh-huh.
All right, go put that somewhere.
What do you think I'm doing?
Oh, okay. Going to put it somewhere.
Probably.
All right, so believe it or not, we're chugging along pretty good since we know kind of what we're doing this time. These little things like this were a nightmare the first time. I had no idea what to do. This little door here literally just pops. Just pull it straight off. Pull it this way to the right, and then it just kind of wiggles its way out of there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, so I'm gonna have to turn the camera on. This door has one tab right there on the top. See that little tab? And that's it. There's 2 little plastic things right there, but basically pull it sideways out in the front part, and then kind of twist the top back with your hand, then pull it straight out, and these things just push in the back there. So, and it comes out pretty easy. Calling all professionals back in. You can't do it?
No, I stuck my screwdriver.
Oh, yeah.
Pulled it up. But this tab at the top is still in there.
Well. Yeah, see, I told you, you just gotta do like I said.
You know how many plastic things I broke?
Alright. Don't be scared of some plastic.
Did we actually need to take this out?
Yes.
No
That
way.
was a nightmare, remember?
Yeah.
Because there's a screw on the back side. Remember? I think, I can't remember if we took it out the back first.
Do we really need to, though?
Yeah, I think we have to drop all that down, right?
Yeah, but...
Yep. So...
Can't we just unplug the wire right here?
No.
Only wire. Look. There's only one wire here. I
Yeah.
can just push the tab down.
Yeah, but I don't remember why, but...
Well, because we didn't know what we were doing.
Trying to take... It's kind of a stupid design, but there's a screw that actually face backwards, which holds that thing in, right?
Yeah.
Let me, should I get my camera in there?
Yeah.
Well, you took the screw out already.
No, it's the screw's hanging out.
Oh. So, in here, where's it at? I don't even see it. Oh, it's up here.
It's up there.
Okay. So, whoops. There's a screw. I can't even get in there. I got no light. I got no light. Hold that. Put the light in there. Put some light on the subject. So, right behind there, right where that yellow stuff is, there's a screw that faces. You see how that comes off? Because the screw screws into this panel backwards, which is brilliant. All right. So, what else?
So
So that took that off.
yeah, and I unscrewed this fuse box. So now it's loose.
All right.
And there was the screw down here to get that loose.
All right. Now, do we think that we'll be able to drop it without taking the parking brake and all this time?
Well, that's what I'm hoping.
Because we took the parking brake cable and all that off last time, but we're thinking maybe we can get the box out without doing all that. Because once you take the top off, but anyway, we're going to drop as much as we can.
Right.
Let's see.
Okay, now.
The ignition, as you can see, it just unscrews. You just unscrew it like that. That's it. And it drops in there basically. That's it.
Okay. So.
We got to take the panel off the bottom. That very low panel needs to come off.
Just
Yep, the black one. Torx. It's on the other side over there.
I have.
She's doing her yoga moves. This is called the downward driver flip. What do you call it?
This is called upside dog.
Upside dog. And I already did mine. I guess I could start taking this off, but I'm gonna wait. There's a cable which releases the hood, and there's a plug for where you plug in like a ODB or whatever, a car monitor thing for diagnosis. That's connected to this panel. I can't remember, I don't think it unplugged. I think the whole thing comes out. It slides, or there's some kind of way it hooks in there. We'll have to see. So the ODB monitor, there's like a little slide thing. Once you slide it, then from the inside with your finger, you can just reach in and push it out. There's a parking brake. Let me show them where that's at.
Well, can you just hold on?
Oh, I'm trying to get in here
Ew,
with the camera.
you just touched my boob.
Come on, I'm trying to get in with the camera.
Okay,
Trying to get some footage here, man.
My freaking space.
Hold on. Trying to get some footage.
I'm not a man. You can't just touch my.
Who touched you?
Your camera touched my chest.
All right. You see that right there? This thing, there's a screw under there. If you pull it back, she already did it. See, she got the screw out already, so it came out. Now you can take this cable out. You can remove that little thing right there. Basically just slides out and over. The whole thing will come out. But we're going to try to not do that right now, just because it's a pain to get back in. And this thing right here was the cable to the ODB monitor. It just comes right out once you slide this little thing back and forth there. All right. Are you done crying over there? There must be some other wire. Oh, there's another thing back there that we have to get on in there. Golly. Are you done yet? I thought we got this dashboard out already. You know what the shame is? This is going to be the best video online. I mean, not that it's great, but the other ones are horrible.
Hey, recording.
Okay, you got the orange wire right here. You see the orange wire? It just kind of goes back there. These little clips right there, you just push it to the left like that and then it comes right out. Oh, it's just holding it on there so don't flop around like a flopper.
Okay, so it just pushes.
Yeah, you know, like that.
Yeah.
All right. So it's a 13 for this socket here. She was a whole number off. She said 14. It's really far off.
Yeah.
Anyway, just take these bolts out right here with a 13, not a 14.
You're gonna confuse the audience.
Oh, I'm sorry. I don't want to confuse y'all. It's a 13, not a 14. And then you don't have to get so close to my hand. You want to see it, my hand? I don't think the audience wants to see that close. They kind of lose what is it, perception?
How do you know what the audience wants?
I know. I know.
Well, you were a whole...
I think we're getting a little, I think we're getting hallucinating with the heat. It's about 100 degrees in Texas right now. We're up in the northern Dallas area, you know.
Northern Dallas.
You know.
Not North America. Just
we're
northern
not in Houston.
Dallas.
All right. I don't think they want us to film like 10 minutes of the same thing. You know, you normally.
But we don't know that.
Yeah, you just do a little bit. I don't want to sit there and watch it through this cable right here. See that cable? We got it. It goes through here, goes through that little slot right there, and the little ball goes in there. So you just take a screwdriver and you don't get so close. Jeez, I can't breathe. You just slide the cable out and up, and it'll come out of there. Otherwise, the cable's so short right here, you can't get this thing out. This whole plastic thing. Put your damn screw.
Well, you need to show them what we did.
What do we do?
We took these screws out. Did we already say that?
I think we already did that. We took those out.
Oh,
Remember when
okay.
you were over filming?
Oh, yeah. See, delusional. Oh, that's my toes. My hands are too...
All right, now we're going to remove this top. Basically, you remove the top, and then you remove the rest of the center part. That little thing she's holding right there snaps into the, I'll show you from the top here. Let's see, can we see it? There's too much glare out here. Basically, if you can see my hand there, right there, there's a plastic piece. That little plastic piece pops up. You might be able to see it if I just reach in, and I can't do it with, I guess you gotta use a screwdriver, but you're gonna pop that little thing. There's a screw underneath there. Can you do that? You don't need a screwdriver? Yeah, in the next 10 minutes. That's on the back side of the dash there, right under the windshield.
I can't actually see what I'm doing.
Watch out. That's it. So it just pops out, as you can see right there. And then there's a, here, put that in your bag. There's a screw right there, underneath there. You can see it right there. It's basically by the defrost vents. And then there's several screws across the bottom here, like right here, right there. And there's a couple more, and this whole top's gonna just lift right off, actually. And there's a couple screws right up here. On your car, you're gonna have to take this out. There's a speaker there, but we already ripped it out. You will probably crack the speaker housing part, but oh well. So to get the top off, you have to take that big black thing right there out, because we need to get to a couple screws. I think they're underneath here. So,
I don't remember how to get,
there were some screws.
like,
I think
this
they're
one
up.
right
Yeah, I
here?
think they're up underneath there. This thing comes out, basically there's just 1, 2, 3 screws, and this whole thing comes out as one big unit. There's a couple wires here. Alright, take that. Yep, and then there's a screw here which holds this piece down, so. Alright, we'll take that out and see what happens. Close. Well, you got to start out so you can see what you're doing, you know, like what's the focus.
Alright.
So we're trying to get this off, basically, and these two 10 millimeters under here are connected to the airbag and to this piece. As you can see it now, it rises up. Yep, looks like it's ready to come out. See? So I think there was a couple screws here. There's one there, there's one over there, and these two here, and that's all that holds it. This,
Hold on. Okay, what?
this technically doesn't have to come out, but it does. There's some plastic. You got it?
No.
It goes into this air duct there, so it just makes it easier. Go ahead and pull it out. Alright.
No. There was a screw behind the air vent there.
No, it just held the air vent.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Alright. Yeah, you can't get this air vent out until you take the black box that was under here down, because there's a screw that hides, I think it was either here or here, that holds the air vent in, so you can't pull it out. Alright, that's it for that. Let's pull this whole dash out. We'll be back. Alright, we're getting there. We gotta take the airbag off. The plugs. There's a plug right there. You just pull the, can't get my finger in there. Pull this little, it's impossible.
It's center tab.
Yeah, pull that off out of there, and then the whole plug comes out. And there's one on the other side too, right?
Yeah.
So you do the same thing on the other side. There's a plug. I think it's yellow or something.
Yeah, it's yellow.
Right there. And then the top should come off. Alright, well, so we have the top portion off. And now we're going to start taking the center out. It's actually pretty easy to do. It just has a few screws and it kind of pops out. Basically have to take that out, and then this bar has to come out. The steel bar, and it's got a couple bolts over here. Well, I'm not 100% sure. I think just those two bolts were holding it, but anyway, we'll get there in a few seconds. So you do have the two bolts here. I believe this bolt here, and then there's a bolt on the side here where my hand's at. It's right there. That has to come out. It's a bar. This bar right here is connected here. Two bolts way over there, same thing. I'm gonna take those out, and then if there's anything else, I'll let you know. Okay, and you also have to take off these 3 bolts here. And then there's, we put wire ties back here to hold the wires up. They had like little clips or grommets or whatever, but usually those break, so I'll have to cut these little wire ties any place I have it where I'm holding the wire up where it used to be. So several spots, but anyway, that's a minor thing. So I'll take those 3 bolts out, see what happens. We now have a baby helper. We are in trouble. She's telling us how to do it. Emma, do you have any ideas how to do this? Huh? What do you think?
This?
Yeah, you know how to do it? We need to remove the coil. Can you explain it? Well, right behind the baby, she's taking off a screw by the blower motor housing that we didn't do. Okay, here's the bag. But still not loose, so we're missing something somewhere. We're gonna have to, we had the same problem last time, remember?
Yeah.
So we'll be back in a second once we figure out what's holding it. We remember why we couldn't get the bracket off, because there's actually a bolt on the firewall side. See if I can remember where it was at. It is hiding. Oh, we gotta undo the lines. Well, that's come later, but So let me see. Where's that bolt at? Oh, there it is. I see it. So right there. Right there. You see that silver bolt right there on the right? Right there. Next to the expansion valve. Right there. That bolt has to come out. That holds the black thing in there. Alright, so we're going to do that. See what happens. We're getting so close, we've moved to the dramatic music. It's part of the show. Just so you know, in there behind this box, before you pull it out, there's a little plug that sits back there. It's like a temperature sensor, and you just reach in and pull it out, and it looks like that. Don't forget to put it back in. It's just a little hole back there. It goes into this black box. Oh, what are you doing? Alright, so the bar's out. Once we took that screw out of there, that bar came out. And we need to take the box out. The box literally just comes right out. So we need to disconnect the expansion valve. Disconnect the expansion valve and the heater hoses. We have to drain the water a little bit, because otherwise you'll have a mess all over the place. So gotta take that expansion valve out right there, and then the heater hoses are right under there. So we'll get to that. We'll be back.
Alright, so here in the front you've got this hose that needs to disconnect, and you've got these heater hoses down here. And they just pull off of the metal.
Yeah, no, the people know how to do that. Alright, let's go.
No, now I am.
Alright, so the box is loose. It should just pretty much pull out. It's a little tricky, but it will come out. You're hidden behind here. Yeah.
You see that?
Yeah. Alright, so we're going to pull the box out. Alright, so here we are a few days later. And we have removed the dashboard, obviously. Looks crazy. And we pull that box out, which I'll show you in a second. There's a black box. There's the lines for the heater core and the evaporator core coming in there. Let me just show you the coil real quick where we screwed it up. Part of it is me sanding it, trying to see if I could get it to fit. So here's the new coil. The new coil, as you can see, this line right here, look how fat that is. Okay, I don't know if you can really tell, but you can see how fat it is. This is the one we bought, the aftermarket, which you have to be careful of, because as you can see, I don't know if you can tell, it's skinnier, but it's actually smaller. But anyway, I damaged it. As you can see, it's all torn up there on the side. You see where it's got that gouge in it right there? That's because I could not get it to fit on there. But anyway, there's two expansion valves. I don't have the other one right now, it's in the car, but on the back side here, that's the front. This is the side that goes onto the coil. So you can see how big that hole is on the left there. Anyway, that is that's the problem. So be very careful when you put the expansion valve on, because what was happening was this expansion valve, as I pushed it on and put the screws in, it was damaging, gouging the aluminum on the side there. Right on the side, you can see where it's all gouged, and that was our nightmare. Get a close up there. This is just a combination of sanding and crap, but anyway, it never would seal. It wouldn't sit on the back here. Could never get the line to go on there. Anyway, we're going to take this box apart, put the coil back in there. This time I'm going to seal the whole system before I put the dashboard back together. That's what I'd recommend you do as well, or you're going to be doing the same thing. I mean, it's better to go ahead and check it for a leak. If you have a leak detector like we do, you'll be in better shape, or otherwise you're gonna have to let it sit for like an hour and see if it moves. Put some nitrogen in or whatever. We may film some more in a little bit to show you some of the steps going back together. We'll see. Well, it's not a new Mercedes by any means, but we did finish it. And dashboard's back in. There's the finished product. Wow, it's hot in here. I just opened the door. Whew. It's probably fuzzing up the camera a little bit there. Anyway, so there's a couple minor things that you might want to know about. The side panels right there, we still need to put those on because they cracked when we did it, and unfortunately also this top speaker thing here cracked. That was very hard to get off, but it works. AC doesn't leak, everything's back together. Try to do our best to give you a little bit of information. Obviously there's a few steps we might have missed just because we already had them apart. Just don't overcharge the system with Freon, and good luck. Thanks for watching.